Welcome to today's video. Let's go to TinkerCad.com. Now we'll log in using our school Gmail account and you can join your teacher's classroom using her class code. Once you've logged in, your screen should look like this. Click the Create button and select 3D Design to begin designing your project. Before we start designing, check the settings in the lower right-hand corner. Make sure the units is inches and the length and width should be set to 8 inches by 8 inches. Make sure that these settings are the default and then close your settings. Now that our work plane is ready, let's start exploring the TinkerCad interface. First, we'll start with the menu on the right. Here you'll notice that there's lots of shapes and different components that we can choose from. The first two are actually hollow components, and you can tell because they're gray in color and have stripes. The gray color and stripes is an indicator for being hollow, so if you take any other of these solid shapes, drag it onto your work plane, and select the gray striped appearance, that means that you've made the component hollow. Again, to drag a component onto your work plane, you can select the one you want from the menu, click on the component, and drag it to your work plane, like so. Now for today's example, so that we can get comfortable with all the tools and controls on the TinkerCad platform, let's take a cube and a triangular prism and try to make a house. So I'm going to drag both components onto my work plane, and I'm going to use my keypad to press down, drag over, and select both components. So now I can work on aligning them and grouping them. So quickly to review, on the top right hand corner we have a group button, the ungroup button, and the align tool. We'll start by using the align tool, so I'm going to click on it and align the two components that I'm working with, and then I'm going to click on the cube, drag it downwards so that the roof of my house is just right on top of the cube. Then I'll select both components, and to repeat, I'm using the black cone right here to drag both of my components like so. Now, again, I'm going to click and drag to select both components, and I can use the group tool again in the right hand corner so that both these components become one, and every time I move it, they move together. Now let's say you want to adjust the size of this component. We can click on it and then use either the black squares to adjust one dimension at a time, or the gray squares on each corner to adjust 2 dimensions at a time. Here you can type in the dimension you want, or instead you can drag the corner to eyeball the dimension you like. Something like this. Now let's say you want to make sure that as you increase or decrease the size of your component, you want the relative side, or the ratio of the length, width, and height to stay the same. Let me show you an example with a cube that is 1 by 1 by 1 inches, like so. And here I'm going to click Shift and then the corner button before I increase the size. Now you can notice that all the dimensions, the height, the length, and the width all stay relatively the same. So in this case, I'm adjusting it to 1.5, and it automatically changes for the length, width, and the height as well. Now to view the components on our work plane from different perspectives, you can use the cube in the top left-hand corner and click different faces of the cube to see your components from different sides. You can also click and drag the cube to see your components from unique angles. Let's say you've maybe zoomed in or zoomed out too much and you want to return to the original viewpoint. To do that, click the home button like so, and you've returned to the original perspective. To zoom, you can use your trackpad, or you can use the plus and minus buttons as well. Now let's explore the hollow function as the final part of today's video. If you choose to use a hollow cube, and let's say we want to group it with the solid cube, I select both And then this time I'm going to use the Align tool to align them like this. Now you'll notice right now that there's a gray filling in our solid cube, but it doesn't look cut out yet. To make sure that it's cut out, I'm going to select both the components and group. That way the hollow cube cuts through the solid cube to create a hollowed out component like this one. You can confirm that your function has been performed by checking from different viewpoints and making sure that your component has been cut through. And there you have it. To review, you have many different components and shapes that you can pick from on the right-hand menu, as well as the group, ungroup, and align tools on the top right-hand menu bar. You also have the cube to be able to view your work plane from different perspectives, which you can find in the top left-hand corner, as well as the zoom in, zoom out, and return to original view button. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.